ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 549. Woo. As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by viable human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Saturn. It feels like I should have housekeeping because so much shit has happened lately,
Yeah.
but we kind of don't. As far as the show is related, things
just
seem
kind of on
normal.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cat got his balls removed today,
Yeah.
so that's housekeeping. You know,
Nice.
I took them.
I tried to practice cable management this week. That
Okay,
didn't-
there you go.
It was
It's like
unsuccessful,
housekeeping.
but I tried. So it's like housekeeping.
I love cable management because you get 10 minutes into it and you're like, this is awesome and looks great. Why haven't I done this before? And then halfway through, you're just like crying into your hands.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, that's
know?
basically what happened. I went as far as like washing all the cables. That was a good start because
There you go,
some of
yeah.
them had been forming like some sort of,
Crust. Yeah.
it was this dust nest hybrid.
Yeah. It's the patina that helps insulate the wires.
Well, they've been living behind a dresser for how
Yeah.
long have I lived here now? 7 years.
Years? A while.
So yeah.
I guess we can get to my week. So about that Switch 2
Yeah.
situation.
Never gonna get one, right?
Okay, I never said that. Never said that.
Yeah.
FOMO got the better of me. I
Uh-huh.
started to kind of worry that memory prices and general market turmoil going on right now means that either the Switch 2 would go up in price or become hard to find, or both.
Which was the same reason I got mine too. So
Yeah, I'm
we're in the same
also
boat.
kind of still pretty convinced that Nintendo's going to raise the price by the end
Yeah.
of 2026. And I was like,
Same.
well, you know, I would like it for the hardware upgrade because
Right.
I do have many thousands of dollars invested in Switch games.
You came to the
And
same conclusion that I did for the same reason, just 6 months later than me. That's
Yeah,
all.
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'm not like thrilled by it, but
Right.
I have a lot of Switch games and it would be nice to run them as good as they can run.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is to say you should run them on a PC.
Right.
But if you don't want to do that, you run them
Yeah.
on Switch 2. So I bought a Switch. Also, they announced the Animal Crossing upgrade pack for Switch 2, and I was like, all right, there you go. That's my jumping on point. My review is it feels like a Switch.
It does.
It's a Switch. I really feel like New Switch or Switch Pro would have been a much more accurate name.
I think the only reason they didn't go with something like that was because of all the confusion with the new 3DS. They didn't want to fall into that same trap
I guess, and I get the concern about brand confusion, but first of all, some Switch 2 carts work in Switch 1s.
again. Yeah, there are some backwards compatible carts.
And so, like, I don't know. I understand branding confusion, but this just distinctly
There are
does
some
not.
Xbox 360 games that play in an original Xbox.
True. This just distinctly doesn't feel like a new generation of console. It
Yeah, it
really
doesn't
doesn't. It just feels like
Mario
Here
Kart
you
feels
go.
like it is something the original Switch couldn't do, but it also
Sure.
doesn't necessarily feel like a better game than the Mario Kart the Switch one could do.
yeah. We're currently in the third wave of backlash to Mario Kart World. There's a lot of. I didn't even get Mario Kart World. I saved the $50 because I didn't
Yeah.
want it digital, and I'm not going to pay $80 for it physical when I
Right.
have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So
Yeah.
I just didn't even get it. I will say it's a little heavy and uncomfortable.
Hmm.
I can't like any handheld sessions over about 20-ish minutes. It really does genuinely hurt my hands. Like
That's no
it's
good.
not like it's like actual pain. It's smaller and lighter than like the Steam Deck, but it's got like less booty to grab onto.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. You need your-
it's just flat.
you
And
need your
something
game
about
booty.
something about the extended height makes it like hurt my hands.
That's no good.
So that's been kind of a bummer. It does mean I've been playing tabletop mode a lot, like with the system on my chest while I'm laying in bed, just like a slug person with totally laid flat with, and I can see it heaving up and down on my gut. You know, the system transfer was pretty painless. I'll give
Yep.
them that.
Yep.
That was nice.
I
Just
was coming
kinda
from a
went.
hacked Switch and it was still painless. So
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I played some upgraded Switch 1 games because they were included because I do the Switch family thing for my
Oh,
wife
yeah,
and kid to have all their stuff. Zelda feels the same.
Yep.
Pokemon feels a lot better, but it still isn't a very impressive looking game. I did pick up Metroid Prime 4 because I don't want to eat up our whole week segment. I'm going to save talking about that for next week, but I'm
Fair.
enjoying that. And just honestly, I'm just really whelmed by it.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was
I
about half. I do like how the Joy-Con connect. That's neat. The
I like how nice and seamless it is, but I have two problems with the Joy-Con connections. One, they don't feel that much more sturdy.
no.
I will often, like, when because I play handheld a lot,
Mhm.
and oftentimes, like, I'll be holding my Switch in my hands, and I will hold it one-handed for a second to, like, grab a drink or whatever reason you might take a hand off a console, and I can feel them flexing and
Ooh.
bending backward, and I'm like, oh shit! Like every time, it's like a panic moment where I'm like, oh, I guess I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't ever play
Um,
handheld, so that's not really affected me.
But the other issue is the detachment buttons. First of all, when you hit the detachment buttons on the Switch 2, those things fucking shoot off
Yeah,
of there.
yeah, they're gone. They're no
And
longer connected.
they're exactly in a spot where my hand, like when I'm holding it not to play, but
Mhm.
to like grip it to move it somewhere or put, you know what I mean? Or when I'm holding it one-handed or whatever,
Sure.
my fingers naturally want to rest on those buttons. And at least once I've been like holding it and accidentally fucking detached the
Launched
Joy-Cons
it.
and like fell into my lap. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't love where they put the buttons, and they're very large.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
very big detachment buttons, and I
buttons.
don't know why.
I assume it's so that
Um,
you don't accidentally hit them, so that you know
I
that
mean-
they are there.
I've had the problem still.
Yeah,
It's
clearly
just,
it has not helped, but
so yeah, I will say it's easier to get them off, like when I set it in tabletop mode.
Mhm.
There's not this weird awkward where you have to hold the
Right.
top while you slide one off thing.
yeah.
You just kind of pop them off. So that's been nice
I
since
do
I've been
like that.
playing more tabletop mode, more rooftop party mode.
Right.
It's been, convenient in that way for sure.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
get one of the controllers that lets you just snap in the Joy-Con to it, like the original Switch. Didn't this original Switch come with one of those?
Mine came with one. My Switch 2 came with one.
Oh, did it? Okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
bought the one that
yeah.
charges the Joy-Con. That's what it was that I
Oh,
bought
okay.
separately.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, being able to snap in and out of that is nice. Because I'm not gonna use the system handheld. I just
Yeah.
don't care.
Sliding on the rails was fine, but it was never super nice. It was always just kind of like, it always felt a little jank, or,
Yeah.
there was a couple times where for whatever reason I didn't have the button pushed all the way down, and I'd like yank it off anyway and be like, oh, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but I didn't buy the Switch 2 Pro controller because I don't like it, and it's really expensive.
It is expensive.
for what it is. I
Yeah.
say as a man who owns both of the PlayStation Edge controller and the Xbox Elite controller.
Yeah. I don't have those. So
I was like, well, my regular Switch Pro controller works, and I like the Switch 1 Pro controller a lot. It's a really good controller.
Sure, yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll just keep using that.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I've been playing a bunch of games on it and kind of rediscovering some Switch stuff and just, kicking the tires. Played this week's game on it, which didn't really test the hardware limits, but, it was fun. I was like, I was having trouble waking the system from sleep while it was docked, which I know it's a dumb complaint, but my TV is like 15, 16 feet from my couch, and I
Right.
start all my other consoles from the couch, and,
'Cause
like...
your house is a palace, so you have this
it's
long, arduous,
very...
journey between your couch and your television.
Yeah, I'm like
yeah.
the rich evil guy in one of those 80s movies that's got the long dining table that's like 80 feet long.
Right,
and you have
yeah.
to pass him something. It's
Yeah.
It's just a little thing. Like, I want to be able to turn on my console from the couch.
No, I'm
I
with
don't want to get. I want to go from watching X-Files to playing Switch without having to get up. I don't want to
Yeah.
fucking do that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out and finally I Googled it. Turns out Nintendo just made it so that the Switch 1 Pro controller physically cannot wake the system from sleep, even though it theoretically has all the necessary hardware to do so, because
Right.
why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't want to get the Switch 2 Pro, and so it's just annoying shit like that where I'm like, that's
Yeah.
fucking why? Why would you do that? Like, this is
Because they
stu-
want you
like,
to
I mean,
buy
I,
a Switch 2 Pro controller.
I get that, but it's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's genuinely hostile behavior to get
Yeah.
me to buy their inferior, shitty new Pro controller that I don't like.
I do like the new Pro controller, aside from the D-pad, which is bad. It's real bad, but I still don't know that I would justify its price to anybody.
Well, my problem with specifically having one, I'm just going to say this. I used my brother's a little bit when he first got the Switch 2, and it just feels, to me, cheaper than the first one. It feels, I don't know what it is. But
to me, it feels slightly more premium, honestly. So I don't know.
I know. He also had a sticking shoulder button, like right out of the
yeah.
box.
Yeah, I didn't.
But
have
then
that.
also my Switch, I play a lot. If I'm playing Switch, I'm either playing mostly first party Switch stuff or retro stuff. And having a bad D-pad on a system that I play a lot of retro stuff is
not good.
kind of a fucking killer, especially when the handheld mode doesn't even have a D-pad.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like, it's a nice mid-tier hardware upgrade.
Yeah, that's
Is
about how it feels.
The best praise I can give it, and I'm already a little concerned because it's less performant than like the base model PS5, which is already 5 years old.
Yep.
And if engines keep going the way they're going, then it could end up being in the same spot the Switch 1 is in a few years' time.
On the other hand, memory is getting so expensive right now that the developers may just have to start targeting lower end hardware if they want to be able to sell games in the near future.
It would. Honestly, I'd love to see it.
Right?
I would love to see it. Yeah. But yeah, Switch 2. I've been playing a lot of it. I've the games are good. I will say it's definitely like interface wise feels a little snappier and stuff. The increased frames are really nice on games that can use it.
Sure.
I'm a little bummed out it doesn't have VRR while docked, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's weird.
So that kind of sucks majorly, especially because the dock can do VRR.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hook a Steam Deck up to it, it does VRR just fine. So I don't really understand why it doesn't do it for the Switch when it does it in handheld mode. I'm just genuinely confused.
Look. The hardware on the Switch is made by this little tiny indie company called NVIDIA.
Right. The Hanafuda card people?
No, not Nintendo. NVIDIA.
Oh, okay.
This little tiny fly-by-night company. You never heard of them. They're worth nothing.
Right. Yeah, they couldn't possibly.
Yeah, they can't.
Like, and I know that I'm have a lot of like spec-related complaints about a Switch, but also the only reason I could find to buy a Switch 2 is the specs.
Yeah.
It is a higher spec Switch 1. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And so the specs are obviously going to be the thing I have the most scrutiny about.
Same.
But
Also,
yeah,
the general online interface for me is still just too bare bones. Like, give me something.
Granted, I haven't tried any of the fancy new game chat shit or the game share stuff. Because the only person I know with a Switch 2 is you, so maybe we should try some. Maybe that's like generation defining. Maybe that's going to be the thing that like, this is incredible.
Do we even have any multiplayer games we could test any of that with?
Well, I've got multiplayer games. I think we could do the multiplayer game thing, but also you can apparently game chat and share a game with someone at the same time.
Fancy.
I don't know. I think maybe the social features are the big generation defining thing, and it's just not hitting for us because we're not here for that. But you're the only person I know with a Switch 2. Except my brother and me and him have very different schedules, so maybe we could you know.
Well, you and I have pretty different schedules too, but we have some overlap.
We sync up enough. So maybe that's the thing that I'm going to be like, oh my god, game chat with game share is fucking incredible. This is it. This is because like the Series X without quick resume wouldn't feel much like a new generation to me. Yeah. So maybe that's it. Credit where credit's due. I don't know what that shit's like.
Right.
I have no idea. But yeah, it's. Like, I don't want to sound shitty.
Right.
It's nice to see Nintendo finally make a lot of their games run the way they should have run the first time for a mere $449 investment on my end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's just the entry price. That's before you've bought all the other shit and accessories and everything else that we all inevitably had to get.
I bought the system, the cheapest slim zip case I could find, and a 512 gigabyte SD Express card. I spent about $600 total for this mid-tier hardware upgrade on my Switch games.
Yeah, I got the system, the Pro controller, the dumb webcam, and a case. Yeah.
So I'm, again, I've got thousands of dollars in Switch games.
Right.
I'm very invested in Switch games. Everyone in my house has a Switch, and so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like the performance upgrade is worth it for me.
Yeah.
My wife can't. She's it's good. It's nice. I'm gonna talk more about that next week because I don't want to eat up the whole show with
That's
it.
fair.
But yeah, I'll talk more about game stuff next week. Anyway, Saturn, what have you been doing? What have you been playing?
Mostly just been wrapping stuff up. I finished up Ball Cross Pit, got the rest of the achievements on that.
Yes.
It does unlock a new game plus mode when you finish it.
Oh.
but so far as I can tell, it's basically just the same, but you are already at the end of the game, so you already have everything unlocked and you can do everything, which makes
Yeah.
it kind of too easy. But also
Mhm.
you can still go back and play all the prior levels with your current stats anyway. So I'm struggling to figure out what the difference is between just replaying the old levels in faster mode and playing New
Mhm.
Game Plus mode. So I'm not 100% sure what it's even about, but it just feels like more of the same. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep going with it. But then I noticed that it's on Game Pass, so I could start over from the beginning and do it all again. And I was like, oh, well, I'll do that then if I'm already not paying for it.
Well, you could
Um,
also just delete your save.
you can. Well, it also has multiple save slots on
Oh,
the
well, there
Steam
you go.
release
Just start a
anyway,
second slate.
so you could just do that. But this way you get achievements again, Justin.
Oh, right. Got to get them
Um,
Chivos.
yeah, got to get the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Also, I went back to Blueprints and got the last of the achievements of that on my Xbox,
Oh,
which
there you go.
was
How long until you find out there's another 2/3 of the game you didn't even know about?
no, I think
Think
so
you really did it this time?
they've talked about an update in the future, and if they do the update, then I have to figure out where the update is. But as of now, I checked, and according to the general community, what I have found is the end of the game. So I think
All right.
I'm there. I was just going back, and it's fun going back to the achievements on my Xbox instead of trying to find the end game, because one, there's the immediate reward because it'll tell you when you've done a thing, and two, it's going back to the original gamey part of the game and not the esoteric puzzle part of the game, where I'm
Yeah.
actually just like plopping down rooms and trying to find my way to the end, and that I've decided is the part that I really enjoy about that game. So
Yeah.
if I revisit the game, I think it'll just be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's
and
good.
and speaking of just gamey plopping stuff down, I also went back to Balatro because I apparently this week I
Yes.
just needed dopamine.
There you go.
I don't know why, but I
Did you ever get the physical copy that came with the little physical cards?
no.
Oh man, I picked it up just on Switch, just
Yeah?
just for the cards,
Nice.
honestly, and to give
Oh
more
no,
money to
I did
Balatro.
get a physical copy on my Xbox, but I didn't
it's
play with the
cute.
cards, so they're still just in there.
Cute. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a full deck of Jokers for it. Like,
No,
holy shit, that'd be
no.
a giant deck. Of
Now,
cards.
Fangamer is releasing a regular playing card deck of Balatro
Nice,
cards now.
nice.
So if people don't know that, I think I pre-ordered them like the day they went up.
Nice.
Really, I'm just like anywhere I can give Balatro more money,
Right.
I'm here to give it more money.
Seriously.
Vampire Survivors 2, whatever you fucking
Right.
make, I'm gonna buy it. Just make it, and I'll give you the money for it.
Yeah, so I've been going back to Balatro and just trying to. My favorite part about Balatro is you can do self-imposed challenges.
Mhm.
Where you're like, okay, I can only use these Jokers this run, which means I have to find these Jokers, and stuff like that. In addition to like the myriad challenges the game gives you between the different decks and the different difficulties and all that shit.
Right.
But so yeah, that's been a good waste time at work game, especially
Mhm.
with all the overtime I've been working lately. And since my overtime is in the middle of the night when half the office is empty, I have a lot of Balatro time.
Yeah.
And Balatro is one of those games where you don't realize that 2 hours just passed. So
Oh,
that's,
yeah, for sure.
that's helpful for that.
For sure. Um, let's do some news.
Okay.
First off,
Uh-huh.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has asked people to please stop calling AI-generated content slop.
No.
And no, I will not quit doing that.
I have noticed that since this happened, a lot of comments online and a lot of outlets have started referring to Microsoft as Microslop. And I appreciate that. I think that's the correct response to this.
Perfect. I love it.
Right?
Yeah, no, we're not going to stop fucking doing that
Nope.
because it's slop.
It is
Stop
slop.
facilitating slop, and
Yeah.
we'll stop calling it slop.
Stop pushing your slop on us, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
consider it.
Quit slopping me, and
Yeah.
I'll quit calling you out for it.
Gross.
PCSX2 has released a new major update with the ability to make individual game shortcuts, better achievements integration, and better overall emulation among various quality of life improvements. PCSX2 has really head and shoulders improved in the last year or two.
Oh yeah. Ever since they ditched all the plugins and made everything bespoke baked into the emulator. It has just continued to get better.
Yeah, so it's nice to see. I mean, PS2
Definitely.
emulation was already pretty good.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things where PCSX2 was kind of a like, I don't want to be mean, but the front end was kind of a shit show for a little bit.
Yeah, it felt like a emulator from 2002.
It did, yeah,
so.
for sure. iOS and Android emulator Touch Hole. Not only
Sorry,
needs a
that
better
should
game,
say
better
Touch HLE. That I guess autocorrect decided that was Hole.
Touch. I was about to say needs a much better name than Touch Hole. iOS and Android emulator Touch HLE
There we go.
has gotten a big update and now supports over 300 iOS titles.
Really, they need to use the name Touch Hole now. That sounds like a much better name.
Now it's what it's going to be in my head all the time is Touch Hole, just like Chad files for PS1 games.
I know they're Chud files, Justin.
No, I still like calling them Chad files. I'll accept Chud files. I won't begrudge anyone their Chud files, but Chad files is what they are to me. That's good. It's nice to see some preservation coming to mobile gaming.
Yeah, especially considering Google and Apple are certainly not going to do anything to preserve any of that.
No, they don't give a shit. Yeah. Sega co-founder David Rosen passed away on Christmas Day 2025.
Sad news.
Unfortunate. I don't remember how old he was, but being a Sega co-founder, he was older for sure.
Co-founded the company in the 60s, so he's
yeah.
Had to have been getting up there.
Xbox console sales hit their lowest year on record in the UK in 2025. Can't say I'm
no
shocked.
Surprise. No.
I gotta say, the way Xbox has suddenly just tanked itself.
Yeah.
In like 2 years.
Yep.
I feel like 2 years ago we were like, yeah, Xbox is, they're having a little bit of struggles, but they're still hanging on, and they just Dreamcasted themselves out of existence in no time.
Right.
I think long term, these last couple years are going to really go down in history as like the couple years that Xbox just fucking shit the bed entirely.
Yeah. And it's all self-inflicted wounds too.
It is.
It's mostly from Satya Nadella, who seems to want to kill the Xbox brand in order to focus even more on Copilot.
I'm telling you, I said it weeks ago. Xbox will die to pay for the sins of Copilot. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No getting away from it.
It's horrifying to think, too.
8BitDo has released a new phone controller called the Flip Pad. Features a D-pad, 4 face buttons, select and start, and 6 programmable buttons. This is the one that you slide your phone into, correct?
Yeah.
So this is just the same thing that Hyperkin did a few years ago.
Yeah, except for I think this lets you pivot the phone to landscape.
Oh, that's nice.
Or something.
Nice.
I don't know exactly, but it's I don't know. I don't know that I need this.
Yeah, it's cute, but it looks gimmicky. 8BitDo has this perfect catalog of like half really awesome hardware and half weird gimmicky shit.
Yep.
And this seems more on the gimmicky side. Yeah. But I'd be interested to see if anyone picked it up, if it's worth a shit or not. Because
it's not released yet. They only showed it off. Yeah. So
when it comes out,
right.
Final Fantasy IX character designer Toshiyuki Itahana has left Square Enix, so no more Zidanes or Quinnas.
It's a shame because that means that Nomura's still there.
Oh yeah, hope you like belts. You like belts, Saturn? See the belt guy?
Yeah, I've never cared for Tetsuya Nomura. I know that like there's the people who started with FF7 are like, oh, his designs are iconic for the franchise, and I don't want it. I don't like that. Yeah. I go back to Amano. That was the best.
Jet Set Radio Future decompilation has begun. Silent Hill 1 decompilation has hit 90%, and Quest 64 was recompiled on PC with various quality of life and hardware improvements for anyone who wants to play Quest 64. Me, Justin, I want to play Quest 64. I thought it was a fine game.
What was the other games that same guy had recompiled? It was
I don't remember.
Chameleon Twist, Glover, and he's working on Donkey Kong 64. And somebody in our chat was like, props to the guy, but you need to work on your taste.
Here's the thing. Quest 64 came out, and I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I had an N64. I'd never played an RPG. And I was like, is this an RPG?
No. It was not.
Because magazines and Nintendo Power and shit wanted to sell it
They
as
really
one.
wanted you to believe it was. But that's
And I
because
played
the
it and I-
N64 didn't have any RPGs.
And I played it and I was like, RPGs are pretty cool.
That was not
yeah.
an RPG. No, it was because the Super NES had tons of RPGs, and then
Yeah.
the N64 comes out, and that's when Final Fantasy VII made it big in the West. It was right after all the RPGs left Nintendo, and so Nintendo Power and Nintendo themselves were struggling to have anything they could claim was a Final Fantasy VII, and they went with Quest 64.
And its companion game, Brian's Quest on Game Boy Color.
That came out
Don't
like a
forget that.
year later.
Don't forget.
Everybody had forgotten Quest 64 by the time that came out.
I hadn't forgotten. I rented it like a bunch of times.
Oh boy. I'm so sorry.
Now, to be fair, I haven't played it since I was like 10 years old, so I'm sure it holds up. I'm not even going to look anything up online. I'm sure it's great.
I just play the recompiled port and let us know.
Sony has filed a patent for an AI gaming ghost companion that will play games for you when you get stuck.
Do you want
now,
Luigi to finish this level for you?
I'm going to say this. As far as usage of, in air quotes, AI, I'm fine with this.
Yeah,
I have a problem with people using large language models to replace human beings. I don't have a problem with them being like, hey, do you want us to take over this NPC and beat this part of Dark Souls that you've been bashing your head against for fucking 2 years? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Again, this is something Nintendo already did. It's just
True,
it wasn't AI driven then. It was pre-programmed. Now they're just taking away that programming and using an algorithm to do it, which is fine. That's a perfectly reasonable use for AI, but it doesn't feel original enough to patent for me.
No, absolutely not. And if it is, Nintendo already has the fucking patent. Right. So I don't know.
And Nintendo should at least be able to fight the patent.
And finally, even more credible rumors pointing to the next Xbox just being an Xbox branded PC, which I don't know. I want to be upset about.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, it means that I wouldn't have to buy an Xbox because I'm pretty sure my PC is going to be more powerful than whatever they put in that, and I can just reboot into Windows and then have Xbox.
Here's my thing. If I can still put an Xbox game disc in that PC and it plays it, I don't think I'm upset. I think they've just added functionality to an Xbox that should already exist.
Yeah.
I should already be able to dual boot Windows 11 on my Xbox. There's no reason I can't, except for weird limitations.
And also, it's just not all that powerful for a Windows PC.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, I would like to see them release a disk drive for it so that you can play your physical Xbox games on your new Xbox PC. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, in which case I'll just keep my Xbox One and Series X for as long as I can.
And that's really that's why the Series was such a good Xbox, because like obviously you couldn't play every Xbox game ever, but a pretty for a game system in the modern era, a pretty shocking swath of Xbox history. You could just put the fucking disc in and go.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so great. I've maintained for years that Sony needs to finally release the PlayStation that plays all other PlayStation games. Like, fucking do it already.
Because it plays what, like 40% of 360 games and like 10 or 15% of original Xbox games.
Yeah, like again, it's not a huge amount, but
but it's still a noticeable amount.
And a lot of them are really notable games. Things that are it's not just random shit. Like a lot of it is the big megaton titles from those consoles, and so it would make me really sad to see them go from this kind of like ultimate Xbox that plays so much of Xbox history to it's a Windows PC with a Windows Store. Here you go. Have a good day.
Well, there's been a lot of rumors over the last year or two about them trying to get 360 games working within the Xbox Store environment on PC. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only delay at this point, is getting the backwards compatibility working. But again, if it doesn't do backwards compatibility from a disc, that's still really limiting.
It is. And it does mean that it is a distinct downgrade, at least for people like us that are weird old people with discs still.
Yeah, and there's a lot of games that are backwards compatible that work with the disc but are no longer available digitally. So if you don't already have the disc, you cannot play that game on a Series X. But if you do still have it, it works fine on Xbox One and Series X. And those games would all vanish should that happen.
Yeah, which would be hugely unfortunate.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our topic at hand.
No, I don't think it does. It's unrelated to our topic at hand.
No, I it does. It's exactly related, which is Mega Man. And specifically, this episode is about the hand-drawn game guides, guide to Mega Man that just recently came out. But also to enjoy the guide, we had to play Mega Man. We were forced to play Mega Man. And so this is kind of an episode on Mega Man 1 and that book.
Yeah.
As kind of a combo meal. Synopsis, is this 2 topics? Yes, but I won't admit it. Scope, this is kind of 2 topics. We did cover NES Mega Man games back in episode 66 when we thought we were capable of covering 6 games in one episode. I don't know why we fucking thought that. I don't know. We also covered Mega Man Powered Up in episode 309, which I totally forgot about.
Yep.
And we're using the newly released hand-drawn game guide as a lens through which to examine the first game and lament the lack of guides in general. It's true. It's so sad.
Yeah, we actually did a 2-parter. We did 309 was Mega Man Powered Up, and 310 was Maverick Hunter X.
Oh, yeah. I do remember doing Maverick Hunter X because, God, that's just such a fantastic game that is unfortunately still locked on the fucking PSP of all places. Please put it anywhere. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Release info, hand-drawn game guides. Mega Man was written and illustrated by Philip Summers, the hand-drawn game guides person.
Yep.
Released 17th of December 2025, published in collaboration with NF Magazine, previously known as Nintendo Force.
Yeah.
It's cool to see them kind of branching out into publishing this kind of stuff. It's very nice to see. It's nice to see it coming from anyone except LRG for once.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Mega Man
wasn't going to come from Prima.
Nope. No, it was not. Mega Man also known as Rockman, released in Japan on 17th of December 1987. Look, it's the same day as the guide.
Yeah.
It's the same day. Oh, it's so cute.
I can't imagine how that is such a coincidence, Justin.
North American release is just nebulously in December of 87. We didn't really
have
Could have been
exact release dates back then.
Let's say it was the 17th, just to make us feel warm and fuzzy in our little Mega Man hearts.
Some people say it was actually a couple of weeks before that, and other people say that it was sometime after the Japanese release, but it's completely nebulous. It's just whenever it showed up in a store, it was put on a shelf.
Yeah. European release was the 13th of December, 1989.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, they got Mega Man 1 on NES after they got the Mega Drive.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was re-released on Genesis as part of Mega Man The Wily Wars in 1994 with some upgraded visuals and questionable physics.
Yeah.
Re-released on PS1 exclusively in Japan in 1999, compiled in Mega Man Anniversary Collection in 2004 and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2015, and remade into Mega Man Powered Up, which is, like we said, still trapped on the PSP in 2006 with a bunch of fun new features and extra robot masters and all sorts of cool shit.
And a level editor.
And a level editor.
Yep.
I need to go back and play that again. I literally don't remember playing it or covering it on the show. I'm sure
we did.
I did, but yeah.
You were there.
As far as first encounters, as I've stated on the show, my first Mega Man, I wrote this and I've said this many times that my first Mega Man was Mega Man X, but playing the Game Boy Mega Man reminded me that I had one of the Game Boy Mega Man games.
Megan's
Min's Mega games on my DMG Game Boy that never could, it was a hand-me-down, so the battery compartment was all corroded out. So you had to use it with an AC adapter, and I had one Mega Man cartridge with the label ripped off.
Oh, that's how you didn't know it was Mega Man. So
I had no idea.
That's why you had no idea until Mega Man X.
And I fucking hated that game because it was goddamn impossible. But
you may be surprised to know that the company that made those Game Boy Mega Man games is also the company that ported the games to Genesis in the Wily Wars.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
I didn't play the first Mega Man game until Powered Up, if you count that as playing this game, which you kind of can, but also you kind of can't.
No.
And over the years, I've just sort of largely avoided it just because the 2 immediate sequels are so good.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of, it feels like a first game.
Yeah.
I think, it is a fine, spoilers, it's a fine Mega Man.
Yeah, and honestly, compared to other games of 1987, it's a little advanced, honestly. It's
totally
impressive. It's just in the grand scheme of the NES library and the Mega Man franchise as a whole, it's fine.
Yeah, and it is kind of shocking how fully formed it did spring up
right
in the first game.
Oh yeah,
As far as hand-drawn game guides, I was on his Patreon for a little while, and I snagged some of the little mini guides he did
Nice.
before he quit doing that, presumably to work on stuff like this, which, gosh, I hope we see more of it.
Same.
But yeah, I've been kind of closely following hand-drawn game guides for a little bit.
Yeah.
Sadder.
Yeah, so I had rented the first Mega Man game sometime after having already played 2 and 3, so it was somewhat let down just because I had already played
wrong order.
right. And there are a few wonky things about the first game that were cleaned up in the sequels. But going back to it now without the immediate comparison of the later games, I can appreciate what it was and how it was made and everything. And then the book I got a few weeks ago when you pointed out to me that it had released, and I was like, oh shit, I should get that.
There you go.
And it's neat. It's really cute.
So we're gonna kind of split this. We're gonna talk about the book for a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about Mega Man.
Yeah,
Mega Man. Presentation wise, this is a full color hardcover book with lots of like 2-page art. It's and when I say full color, I mean every page edge to edge is color.
Yep.
There are virtually no pages that are just like
color.
Text with some stuff. Yeah. Why does the absence of color sadden? Why does a shade?
No, it's all the colors when you're looking at light.
Oh, is that a rat? In light terms, yes.
Yeah.
I hate to mention this because I do spoilers. I do love the book. It's great.
Yeah.
I did have some quality issues with my copy. So I broke in the spine, which for people that don't buy books anymore, which sounds so weird to say, but I know a lot of people just don't do physical books. And based on the age of some people, maybe they never have. When you get a hardcover, you kind of like flip through and sort of like lay it on a flat surface, and it's sort of like, the spine will crack a little bit. It kind of breaks open the spine.
I never do that. I've been buying hardcover books as long as I can remember. I never break in the spine like that. That's just like the thought of it makes me cringe a little bit. So I'm like, then it won't look perfect anymore. I can't do that.
They're supposed to do that so that they lay open.
Well, mine lay open anyway. They're just not as flat as you want.
Especially sewn bindings are built to flex like that. Like theoretically, a hardcover book, you should be able to lay it out, and especially like if you get any perfect bound books or anything like that, you break them in and they lay flat. That's their thing. But all it is like you just lay it out on a flat surface and flip through some pages, and it's. I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't do anything that is abnormal or damaging to a book. Yeah, I do it to books all the time. I've always done it to hardcovers for a long time now. My wife does it. She gets tons of books. It's a normal thing to do for books.
Yeah, unless you're me.
And after doing it, some pages wanted to fall out, and I had to glue them back in.
That's no good.
Also, the glue on some of my pages rides up a little high from the gutter, causing some kind of unattractive white lines down in the gutter. Like none of this is a deal breaker. This is a full color hardcover for under $30, which is kind of unheard of,
by the way. I have not had these. Granted, I didn't crack my spine or anything. So
true. It sounds like what you're doing is you're cracking it a little bit open and peeking in there, and then closing it gently, and then
I'm
putting
opening
it
it enough that it'll lay flat, but not like really like working in the spine to get it to
maybe.
To stay
I mean,
open.
mine was a problem. Like it wouldn't lay flat out of the package.
Mine would immediately. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe I think maybe the glue job on mine was just a little.
The pages won't
up.
stay flat. Like they'll like fold up a little bit because that's what'll happen when you lay a hardcover book down flat.
Oh no, mine lay flat. If you break the spine in, the pages lay flat.
I don't want that.
No. Yeah. But I just want to throw. I don't know. I want to throw it out there. I'm not sure who they're doing their printing through, but just
NF Magazine.
Right. But they a little bit of quality control issues on mine. Again, for a $30 full color hardcover, like I'm not upset. And I have book repair materials on hand because my wife, like her hobby is books. So we have book glue and book tape and stuff like that. So I just put a seam of book glue in it and glued it, and it's fine. It's just, that's all it was.
Yeah.
But I just want to throw it out there.
That's fair.
That it's a thing that happened to me, I do love that the Game Boy, because it also has the Game Boy Mega Man in there as a walkthrough.
Yeah.
The first Game Boy Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge.
Yeah.
And it is presented in a totally different, more cartoonish style that like not only fits well with the Game Boy version, but also makes the two walkthroughs in the book like visually distinct.
Yep. It's really cute.
it has this cute like Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it, and then the actual Mega Man one has this very like melodramatic afternoon action cartoon vibe to it.
The Western anime vibe.
Yes, I thought that was such a fun touch.
Yeah.
Even just looking at the edge of the pages, you can see where they split because the whole layout's different. That's fantastic. Did you have any presentation related?
No, I think that just
stuff?
about covers it. It's just super charming and cute and adorable.
Yeah, and
I did mention in the last episode when I was talking about when I got my book, the only criticism I have is there's no actual screenshots, which I get. That's the whole gimmick. That's the point.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
But for somebody who did read a bunch of these old magazines and old guides and stuff back in the day, they would have a lot of hand-drawn maps and hand-drawn art and everything all around it. But then they would have the occasional either screenshot or, my favorite, really bad picture of a television. And I do kind of miss that. I miss that when I look at this, and it just reminds me of those old guides so much, except for that. There's that one vacant thing, which is fine. It's his thing. I get it. I get that that's the whole shtick. It's just for me, it does leave a light absence for me when I'm looking at it.
I can't say I felt that, but I also got a lot less gaming magazines growing up. So, maybe it just wasn't my, experience.
Yeah.
Content wise, you have some stuff here under content. Let's go through that.
All right. Yeah. So you get your full coverage of both Mega Man and, as you mentioned, Mega Man and Dr. Wily's Revenge, which was the first Game Boy game known as Rockman World in Japan. And it has a lot of official Capcom documentation and development info in the book, as well as some stuff that has been retconned into Mega Man 1 from the later games.
Yeah.
It also includes all of the canon enemy names, as well as the original manual's localized names and parentheticals, which I think is cute because I did not realize how many of those old NES games I still had committed to memory, despite the fact that they have not been canon for the franchise in decades.
Yeah.
And then also there's just a lot of historical and contextual information about the game and the broader series throughout the book, which, again, it's officially licensed by Capcom.
Right.
Capcom provided a ton of information to it, and that's great. I really appreciate all that.
I do like, because the whole book is written kind of in universe.
Yeah.
Like it tells, like, there's a large amount of story and exposition stuffed into the book.
Yeah, that is not in the game.
No, I'm not super up on my Mega Man lore. I do feel like this is more dramatized than any of the original storylines have been.
It's just a dramatized version of the first game's story.
Right.
The story was already there. They just added a lot of color to it.
I would say, for what I expected, like, it's not like a novel, but there's a pretty shocking amount of prose in here that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
And I do also like that for the little, like, contextual information things and historical stuff, to differentiate them from the in-universe prose, the little tidbits have, like, a different background.
Yeah.
It's just a little small touch, but it keeps the book from being confusing, and it keeps the tones separate.
Yeah.
Like, just visual design-wise and layout-wise, which is a weird thing to be excited about, I know, but I love a good layout. It has a really good cohesive layout that helps you quickly visually identify which part of the book's kind of internal mythos that the information you're reading fits with.
One thing
I thought that was so cool.
One thing I appreciate about how it goes back and forth between real world information about the video game and also in-universe dialogue and in-universe storytelling. It reminds me a lot of the guide for Secret of Mana from back in the day that was effectively told entirely as if it was second person in universe, talking to the boy as he goes through this thing, or talking to someone about the whole thing as it is happening, but then also has to occasionally aside be like, you should use this weapon in this fight. And it does have that same kind of vibe to it, where it is mostly in universe information, and then occasionally is like, don't forget there's this total cheat that we learned 30 years ago about this, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's nice. One of my favorite touches were so before each level, there's like you get a letter from Roll or Dr.
Yeah.
Light, just kind of talking about this robot master and how kind of what's up with him, and
Yeah.
you get some vibes on like what they used to do before they went rogue and all this other stuff.
Which that
but-
was canon information even back in the day, is what they
Yeah.
used to do before they went rogue.
But what I love about it is they take turns describing the robot masters, but Roll always calls them Mister, so she's like Mr. Elecman, and it's such a silly touch.
Yeah, it's really cute.
But it's cute. Yeah,
adorable.
it's the dramatization here reminds me a lot of the Proto Men albums.
yeah.
It's kind of that level of dramatization. I mean, obviously less liberties taken with the
Sure,
story, but
yeah.
there's some melodrama injected here for sure. Also, like when you're on Wily's stages, his
Yeah.
portrait pops up, and each time you turn the page, he's getting more like crazy
Frazzled,
looking
yeah.
and exasperated.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many fun little visual like gags and touches, and it's fantastic. It's almost like it was made by an artist, Saturn.
That'd be insane.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the walkthroughs themselves,
Yes.
because oddly enough, they're kind of the smallest part of the book.
Well, there's not a ton of game there.
Right. You can fit each level on 2 pages,
Yeah.
and then boss strategy, and you're good.
Nintendo did that actually in the NES Game Atlas.
Oh well, there you go. See,
So if
Perfect.
you just want the maps, go get that. It's already
Yeah.
out there. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for a lot more
No.
than that.
yes. You've got fully hand-drawn maps with little insert strategy bubbles, little tips, things to watch out for, correct paths to take.
Yeah.
I
I disagree with some of his pathing, by the way.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I
Because
see.
he says always stay on the inside when you're climbing Elecman's tower. No, I always go outside. I find it easier.
Yeah. I don't remember what I did. What I like is he draws it all out well enough that you can kind of choose which
Yeah,
direction you want to go
absolutely.
in. Like he's like, this is the easier path, but you can look at it and be like, no, this seems easier to me, and just sort of go with it.
Right.
There are full page illustrations of boss fights with their weaknesses and strategy,
Yep.
and along with the tips on how to beat them, it also gives you how to beat them with just the Mega Buster.
Yeah.
Which is nice for those people who are going out of order or doing challenge runs or whatever. And I thought that was really cool
Oh, yeah.
that it didn't just assume that you're going to take the most efficient
Right.
path.
Yeah.
You know? Also, each level has these 2-page spreads of like before the boss of Mega Man standing in the artist's representation of the stage.
Yeah.
And I love those 2-page spreads. They're so cool looking. They're such a fun like a visualization interpretation of like what this level would look like.
I also
if
like
it were not in an 8-bit game.
Right. I also liked his illustration of what the pre-boss tunnel area looked like. I thought that was really neat.
Yes. I liked also he would show Mega Man in each of the suits, the robot master like suits he gets and it was always because in the game he's just palette swapped.
Right, yeah. And they made it look
but-
more like the modern games where the suit actually changes a little bit.
Yeah, and so that was cool. It's just so many fun little touches. Mega Man and Dr. Wily's Revenge. I'll let you talk about that one because God, I couldn't get through that fucking game. It was a
I love
nightmare.
that game. Granted,
Oh my God, it's so
I
hard.
love it via Stockholm Syndrome.
It's insanely difficult. Like what the fuck is it's so
It's
hard.
pretty tough, yeah. I didn't find it that much harder than the original game, but it might also just be that I have a lot of practice of both of these games. So
True.
But no, it's a lot of the same kind of. As far as the guide goes, it's very similar to what it was before, just truncated. There's less less full page illustrations and more just like quickly getting through everything. But one thing I really appreciate about what they did in the guide here is he included some Super Game Boy codes to choose an
Yes.
optimal palette for every stage, and I thought that was such a just really neat touch.
Yeah.
That added a lot. It felt like it was a lot of love there that you don't
Yeah,
normally
for sure.
see for old Game Boy games and guides like this.
Especially not the Mega Man Game Boy games,
Right.
which are not super beloved.
Some of them are actually. There is a huge fan community for the Game Boy Mega Man games,
Really?
and people were
I never
very
hear-
upset and disappointed when the collection of them was canceled on GBA.
I was gonna say I feel like they've never been released in any of these
Nope.
collections. I mean, they're on NSO.
Yeah, that's the first time they were re-released. Oh, well, no, the
but
3DS
Capcom
Virtual
seems to-
Console was the first time they were re-released.
Capcom seems to not want to talk about them much.
Yeah, and Mega Man 5 on Game Boy especially is very beloved because it was the only one that had original boss monsters that are not in any other Mega Man game.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk the video game of
Yes.
Mega Man.
Yes.
It's Mega Man.
Yes. All right,
Good.
we're done. That's the end of the show.
Presentation wise, I do want to say two things. One, I forgot just how goddamn good the soundtrack is right off the bat. Just stone cold classics on the first outing. Phenomenal soundtrack.
I feel like it's probably the weakest soundtrack Mega Man has on the NES, and it's still a really good soundtrack.
It's still just fantastic.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of how I talked about it earlier. It's just so much of the game is already so fully formed visually, and gameplay wise that it's just identifiably Mega Man, and it's kind of crazy that from the first step, it was like, yeah, it's Mega Man. Maybe not the best Mega Man,
right?
But it's Mega Man.
One thing graphically that I think Mega Man, especially Mega Man 1, right off the bat, did so much better than other contemporary games on the NES is you can tell what everything is. Like, you can see that is an enemy without having to walk up and touch it. You can tell what that enemy is supposed to be without having to, like, squint and use your imagination and think, is that a background tile? Is that supposed to be a foot? It's all just very clearly defined. Granted, everything is very stylized and cartoony, but it complements the game well. So it's just really just because if you go back and look at a lot of 1987 video games, a lot of them look like butt, and this looks pretty good right out the bat.
They picked a wonderful style that fit it well. They can have large sprites when they wanted them. Things were very detailed, very cleanly designed.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I think it's easy to look at it and be like, yeah, it's Mega Man, but to remember that, like, this is the first one they ever fucking made, and there are some weird bits, and we're gonna get to it, but like, it's fucking Mega Man. Like, so much of it is there from the beginning, you know.
And it's a little wonky.
It's crazy to see.
It does sometimes feel like great value Mega Man compared to all the other Mega Man games, but clearly the foundation was there.
Yeah. Well, tell us about gameplay in the first Mega Man, because we'll get to the wonkiness here.
All right, so it's Mega Man.
And
you do Mega Man things. So it's a run gun platformer.
Yeah, run and gun platforming is how I've always described it.
It's really it's hard for me because of how just ubiquitous Mega Man has become over the years.
You're like, it's Mega Man. What do you mean you don't know what Mega Man is?
It's like trying to describe paper to somebody. Like it's paper. You do paper things.
You write on it.
Yeah. You got your basic platforming shooting. And you did mention in here no time limit, and that it was a huge thing for its time.
Yeah, kind of famously, at least in my mind, is there is zero time limit. You can take as long as you want solving any given screen, which was out of the ordinary for action games at the time. It felt kind of like RPG adjacent almost, of like, you can just sit here and kind of stare at this screen and be like, what do I want to do? And a lot of times you could be like, let me back up to the previous screen because it's too hectic there. Let me back up, think about it, and then go back in.
My thing at the time, because I never remember if 2 or 3 was the first one that I saw, because I know it was right around the time 3 came out that I first played Mega Man. But I don't remember if I'd started with 2 and then went to 3 or the other way around. But for me, the lack of time limit in Mega Man was right around the time that I had played Mario 2 for the first time, which also has no time limit. The International Mario 2, not Japanese Mario 2. That one's impossible. But but those were 2 big action platformer games that had no time limit. And I was like, thank you. This is what we're going to move to in the future. And then Mario 3 came out. I was like, oh no, we went back. Why did we go backwards?
Yeah. And then Mario 4 still had it.
Yeah. But then Mario 64 took it away again.
Yeah, Mario 5 as I call it.
And then New Super Mario Brothers brought it back.
Yeah, Mario 12. Was it 8?
I don't know. But yeah, you have your enemies that'll randomly drop items, which is such ubiquitous gameplay these days. But you know, it's still not in every game, but it was true. It was something a lot of games had already. But you had 6 different items they could drop. You have your points pellet, which is unique to Mega Man 1 and immediately died. They were done with that.
Yeah, it feels weird having points be a thing in Mega Man. Like, I get that It's weird that like the idea of points in 1987, it's like it's standard practice. You got to
Yeah.
have this, but then so were time limits, and they were
Right.
fine throwing that out the window. I wonder if there's some exec that's like, you got to have points. You
Yeah,
can't
well, I
get rid
think
of
it's-
points.
Prior to this, Capcom was an arcade company. They made
True.
arcade games. They did not
True.
make console games. If they made a console game, it was a port of one of their arcade games. And Mega Man was basically their first console first game. So I'm guessing that just the design teams at Capcom were like, well, you have to have a scoreboard. Well, how can you have a game without that? And so
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was
Otherwise,
just
what am I
vestigial.
gonna send a Nintendo Power?
Right,
If
yeah.
I don't have a score
Or Famitsu or whatever it is that you send
Yeah.
things to.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it since I mentioned Mario 2 a second ago. Mario 2 also no scoreboard until Mario Advance, when they just
Oh.
shoehorned in points again for some fucking reason.
I've never in my life cared about points.
Me either.
Like unless I'm playing pinball, never has been a thing.
I saw a post. I don't remember if it was Lemmy or Reddit the other day. Somebody, a younger person, had posted to a retro gaming community, and they were like, they're in their late teens, early 20s, something. It was a younger person, and they posted a screenshot of their game of Super Mario Brothers 1, and they're like, "Hey guys, I just crossed 1 million points in Super Mario Brothers. How blown away would you all have been in 1985?" And like all of us olds were replying with like, "Not at all. We did not care about points in Super Mario Brothers. No one in the world outside of Nintendo Power's letters to the editor cared
Yeah.
about points in Super Mario Brothers, man. Sorry.
No one gave a shit.
We crossed the 9,999,000 points in Mario many years ago, and we didn't care then either. You just jump on a
If you
turtle.
roll
a bunch.
it over, give me a call. Other
Right.
than that, I'm
Even
okay.
then, you can roll over pretty easy, just getting 100 lives in 3-1. It's no one cared. We moved
Yeah.
on. But yeah, it was cute. It was just really charming to see some young person be like, "Oh, guys, look at all these points I got." And we're
Look
all
at
like,
my points, old man.
We didn't care.
Oh my god!
So anyway, you got your points pellet. And then aside from the points pellet, you have all of your standard Mega Man pickups that the rest of the
Uh-huh.
series would have. Your small and large health refills, your small and large weapon refills, and your 1-ups.
Can I say,
Mhm.
did they add pupils to the 1-up Mega Man head in later games? Because it looks fucking freaky in this one.
No, I thought he always had pupils, didn't he?
No, there's no pupils in it.
No.
He's got no pupils.
I noticed
He's like
that the art didn't have pupils, but I've
Yeah.
never noticed it in game. Like
No,
even
in-game he's got
even
no
when I was
pupils.
replaying it this time, I didn't notice that it didn't have pupils.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Um,
Weird.
And then also you'll find items littered throughout the stages, which is the
Yep.
same items you can get except for the points pellet. But then also there's the one Yashichi,
Mhm.
which is a Capcom specific item that was in a handful of games. It was in Commando and it was in Gunsmoke and Sansan. A bunch of the old Capcom arcade games had this random weird Capcom power up
Little
that would just
star
give you a bunch
thing,
of
yeah.
points. But in this game, there's one of them. It's in the final Dr. Wily stage, and it fully refills all your weapons and health.
Boy,
which-
did I need it when I got there.
It was so nice. Granted, I've played the first Mega Man so many times that I forget about it, and so I'm like, rationing out my weapon energy. So by the
Right.
time I get to it, everything's already mostly full, and I'm like, oh right, I
Yeah.
could have been using everything.
Yeah.
You got your stages. There's 6 of them, and you can play them in any order, which at the time was mind blowing.
Big deal. Big
That
deal.
was such a huge thing. Also, all the stages can be revisited at any time, which is a necessity if you happen to do Electman before Gutsman, because you have to have the Magna Beam to beat the game,
Yeah.
and you need Gutsman's weapon in Electman stage to get the Magnet Beam.
Mhm.
But yeah, this was huge. Again, I played the later Mega Man games first, but even then, seeing a game where I could choose which stages to go to in which order, absolutely mind blowing to me. The first time that I
Yeah.
saw Mega Man, that was
Yeah.
such a huge thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have our 6 Robot Masters.
Uh-huh.
All the later games had 8. This game they were apparently intending 8, couldn't finish them in time, so we only get 6.
Yeah, in the book. He talks about the 2 that got canceled and
It's,
how they
Oil
kind of
Man and Bubble Man.
Yeah,
Which Bubble Man just got pushed to the next game.
yeah, for sure. So step us through these robot masters, and I'll complain about each one in turn.
Okay. So you got Bomb Man, who
Mhm.
is the easiest one.
His weapon is the hyper bomb, and it sucks. It's a suck weapon.
So here's what I use the hyper bomb for. Anytime you have those stupid little tiny enemies that you can't kill with your buster that just go back and forth on the floor that are on a platform above you, I'll throw a bomb at them. That's the only time I ever use it.
That's
It's
fair. Other than
super
that,
handy for that.
Well, I use the rolling cutter for those anyway.
I'm saving my rolling cutter for Elecman.
I see. I see.
So
all right. Okay.
Whereas the ball I'm using for nothing at all, so I'm like, I might as well use it here.
True.
Then you have Guts Man with his super arm, which is the most useless weapon, except for the few times it is useful.
It is a suck weapon. It's one of those things where it's like it's a solution begging for a problem,
right?
You know, because the super arm just lets you lift blocks, but not any blocks. Specifically, super arm specific blocks that are only in specific areas, like 3 areas of the whole game.
And the frustrating part is it's Cutsman's weakness. Cutsman is weak to the super arm. And so there's exactly 2 blocks in his arena, which is exactly enough to kill him. Until you have to fight him again in Wily's castle, then there are no blocks in his arena. So just fuck you. Get over it.
Yeah, the super arm sucks.
Yeah. Now, in the powered up remake, if I remember right, if you use super arm and there wasn't a super arm block nearby, he would just like rip some rock out of the ground, and it would be weaker, but it would be something.
Yeah. I don't remember. That sounds right, but I don't remember.
Then we have Cutman, who has the rolling cutter, which is the second most useful weapon in the game.
Yeah, and his mutated form later, Boomer Kawanger.
Yeah, that was
one of the greatest robot master names of all time. Fuck is a Kawanger?
He looks just like a real Kawanger too. It's crazy how accurate.
Rolling cutter is useful. The arc on it's a little weird and it's a little slow.
You get used to it, but it is a super handy and powerful weapon.
For sure.
Then you have Elecman with his Elect Beam, or Thunder Beam, sorry, which is the most powerful and most useful weapon in the entire game.
It's the Metal Blade of Mega Man 1. It's the why would you use any other weapon when you have the Thunder Beam that hits in 3 directions, kills basically everything in one hit, and is susceptible to the Thunder Beam glitch that the book kindly stepped me through because I didn't know about it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get it to work on Steam on the Legacy Collection. Which I was always able to get it to work on my NES back in the day.
Yeah.
But on Steam, for some reason, I could not get the Thunder Beam glitch to work.
I played the Legacy Collection on Switch 2.
Nice.
Which, let me tell you, Switch 2 runs Mega Man 1 great.
That's good. That's good.
$600 well spent.
I'm glad it was up to the task. That's a tall order.
But it worked on that, and they even out of the gate map Mega Man 1 pause to right bumper.
Yeah, that's what it's mapped to on Steam as well.
Weird. That's weird. You had issues.
Didn't seem to work with it.
Yeah. No, worked great for me. I killed a bunch of people with it.
Yeah. Just like I could pause and unpause as many times as I wanted to. It just wasn't ticking up damage. Like they seemed to have extra invincibility frames during the pause. And I don't know if like maybe there's some setting that I had accidentally flipped that was disable Elect Beam glitch, but I don't know.
Now I had issue getting it to work. Like it took a few tries usually. So maybe. I've never done it before, so I don't know if it's touchy or not.
Yeah, I had always had no issue with it on NES. I used it all the time back then. It's the only way I could ever beat Yellow Devil back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to beat Yellow Devil without the
just
Thunder
jump
Beam
over
glitch.
the things. It's annoying.
It's impossible. They're so fast, Saturn.
They're not that fast.
They're
Especially
so
on
fucking
NES.
fast.
There's so much slowdown on the NES version. Whereas,
I guess that's true. I was on the turbo mode on Legacy, so it gets rid of all the
don't turn
flicker
on
and
turbo
stuff.
mode. That's a mistake.
No, I played the whole game in turbo mode.
You have no slowdown. How are you supposed to do anything?
With rewind.
Oh, yeah, I guess I would do it. No, I had I tried to replay the Genesis version as well when I was going through all this before this episode.
Me too. Yeah.
And without the slowdown, Yellow Devil is so fucking hard because on Genesis you can't use the Thunder Beam glitch and there's no slowdown. I'm like, what are you doing? How is this possible?
I had no slowdown on the NES version because again it was turbo mode.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
I wasn't doing
this is
that.
fucking insane.
I saw the turbo mode switch and I was like, no, I want my slowdown. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Then we have Iceman. Iceman has always been one of my favorite bosses. One, because he looks cute
He does.
and adorable.
Yeah.
Two, he kindly stays on his half of the screen.
He does. He's very nice about it.
Yeah, and his attacks are so easy to avoid. It's like useless. I don't know why it always made me like empathize with him. I was like, poor little Iceman, you can't hurt me. But I also learned while I was doing research for this episode, there is a major glitch in Iceman stage. I don't remember if it was mentioned in the book or not, or if I read about it somewhere else. But in the very first screen of Iceman stage, or not the first screen, but in the first area before you transition to the next screen, there's an area where there's a tall platform that nearly hits the top of the screen. And if you jump right there, the game's logic thinks you're in another screen temporarily. And normally that doesn't do anything. But sometimes it completely fucks the system RAM. And if you happen to jump there and turn around mid-jump, it can reset the system.
Yeah.
It can just reset
that
your
seems
NES
like
entirely.
a problem.
It is a little bit of a problem. So if you want to play with that, it's fun. Just make sure you do a save state first, unless you're on an original hardware, whereas just good luck.
Yeah.
And then finally we have Fireman, who's the last boss, and he is an asshole. He's unfair.
Yeah, it's just he's crazy fast.
Yeah. Well, also he just spams the fire attack, and you can't really dodge it, so you just kind of have to take some hits.
That's my job is to spam attacks. So quit doing that.
As long as you have some Ice Slasher left over, he's fine. But if you don't, man, he's always been hard. For sure. And then you go on to the Dr. Wily stages.
Yay, all 4 Wily stages.
Yeah, and they're relatively easy compared to later games in the series. But they are the test. They're the did you learn all the lessons from the stages?
Right. Do you know all the weaknesses? Can you ration all of your attacks and everything?
Yeah. And you revisit all the gimmicks of each stage and everything.
I never knew that the little guy that throws the picks, who I know from Mega Man X, his name is Pickle Man.
Yeah, it's Pickle Man.
But it's pick like Pickel.
Yeah.
So I know they don't mean for it to be pickle like a pickle, but his name is Pickle Man.
Yeah, he plays
There's no other way to
pickleball.
pronounce it other than Pickle Man.
Yeah.
And I love that his name is Pickle Man, and I never knew that about
I'm glad
the
we were
little hard
talking
hat.
about pickles in the pre-show, and now we get to also talk about them now. That's
It's the 1-2 punch.
Yep. Yeah, I do. I always liked Pickle Man. He never looked as much like a robot as all the other enemies in the game. So as a kid, I always just thought it was like some grizzled old prospector happened to show up and start throwing picks at
It's
Mega
the
Man.
little hard hat dudes, but they got a body.
Yeah, but he didn't look as much like a robot as the hard hat dudes.
That's true.
To me, as a kid, I was just like some old prospector guy showed up and started throwing picks at Mega Man.
Get out of here!
You gonna get robot?
The copy robot was interesting.
He just turned on the firestorm and he dies.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then the bubble robots were kind of bullshit. They're kind of a use for Gutsman's weapon, I guess. Yeah,
kinda. But there's not enough of the weapon to hit all of them, unless you glitch. There is a glitch you can do in that room where I don't remember exactly how it works. I think you have to hit the start button at the same time that you hit the weapon, and it'll let you pick up one of the blocks without actually picking it up, so that you have one in your hand, but it's still on the ground. There's some way to do it, and then you can use it on all of them, but it's just not worth it because the first few of them go so quickly with just the Buster that it just kills them.
Yeah. Then even the guide was like, just kill the first 3 or 4 and then use the blocks on the fast ones, which worked for me. Wily himself was kind of shockingly easy.
Yeah, he's pretty anticlimactic.
I mean, he's 2-stage boss, so that's something. But he didn't really do much except move back and forth and shoot at you.
Yeah, I think the bigger challenge is that you just have to do the boss rush of 4 other bosses right before him.
Yeah, I guess realistically that's it.
But of those 4 bosses, 2 of them are Bomb Man and Iceman, so that they barely count. Gutsman isn't too bad.
No.
So
not really.
It's just you have to fight Fireman first, and he might eat up some of your health.
Let's talk reception. People liked these Megas Mans. These are well known games.
Pretty well known. I think some people are familiar with it. It even got some sequels. But it's mostly forgotten these days. It's a hidden gem. Is what
No, they're making a new one, Saturn. They're
shit.
making a new Mega Man.
No, it got pretty good reception at the time. I was struggling to find some contemporary reviews just because of how old it is.
Yeah.
But from what I could find, all the retro reviews are generally pretty high for it, except for it's not quite as
Right.
well received as 2 or 3. That seems to be the consensus.
I was looking through some the lowest stuff. Now this is Moby Games' critical reviews, so I don't think these are modern reviews.
No.
Like IGN on the Wii release gave it an 80.
Yeah.
There was another one. What was it? Questicle gave it a 91. One
I
up
just had a
France
lesion
gave
removed from my Questicle.
it 94. The lowest they got was the Retro Spirit gave it 50%.
Well, they're wrong.
They did not like it at all.
My big complaint
but
with Mega Man 1 compared to all the other games was always just that there's no iframes for avoiding spikes.
Yeah, it's tough. It's pretty instant.
Yeah.
I mean, you get anywhere near a fucking spike and you explode.
Yeah. Just like in real life.
Most of the scores here are ranging in the 70 to 80 range. That's where the bulk of them are, which I think that's
yeah,
that feels pretty accurate.
I think for a retro review, that's correct. Contemporaneous reviews, I feel like 70 is really low because compared to other games that were available in 1987 when this released, calling it a 7 out of 10 feels unfair.
Yeah.
But compared to every game in history, yeah, I can see that. 7 out of 10 seems about right.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard to look at any Mega Man without looking at the series because there's just so fucking many of them.
Yeah.
It's damn near impossible, and they're so available and have been and continue to be that
which is nice.
That you don't have to play the ones that aren't as good. You can only play the best Mega Mans.
Yeah,
which is nice. And I guess it's kind of getting into final thoughts, but the game's a good 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm not going to replay it very much, but the book really elevated the experience, which I think is the goal of the book, is to elevate the experience of playing Mega Man 1. And then when it first came out, I didn't even get it because I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, you didn't pick one of the better Mega Man games to do the first guide on? And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, if any of the first few Mega Man games need, zhuzhing up, some excitement added to them, it's the first one.
Yeah.
And I will say that having the guidebook did make a tangible difference on the amount of fun that I had playing it.
Yeah.
And so I think mission accomplished. As a companion piece to this game, it did a great job of that. And saved me a lot of headache and hassle of having to look up little glitches and understand the decades of nuance and information that other people like you already have ingrained in them about this game.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is like you can look up a guide or whatever, but it's not gonna give you the usually guides are just gonna be like this is the strategy. There's no information on boss order. There's no information on why is this the strategy? Are there glitches we use? These are why we use them, when we don't use them, how they work.
Yeah. This is what to do if you can't use the glitch.
Yeah, and so it gives a lot of contingency plans where most, I don't want to say most, but a lot of guides are very much that game fact thing of here is the 100% most efficient way to play this game. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's cool, but that's not fun to follow along with. That's an instruction sheet.
Right.
And I'm not doing my math homework. I'm trying to play a video game. I'm trying to have an exploration-based experience where I experience something,
Oh, man. I wish there was Mega Man math homework. I'd be right up there with Mega Man Soccer.
So it's nice to have something that really kind of elevates the experience in a way that wants to bring you into the kind of cultural milieu of Mega Man 1 rather than just here's your instruction sheet on how to do the thing. Okay, goodbye.
Right.
It made it a lot more fun for me, I think. So I think if you have any interest in the first Mega Man, and it's interesting because I don't know this game, and I had a good time with the book and recommend it, and you do know the game extremely well, don't need the book, and I think still had a good time with it.
Yeah, it was still just a super charming piece of art, if nothing else, and it's and I want to encourage him to keep doing this for more games too.
Oh, for sure. Please do more of these. I would buy especially for $30.
License or not, I don't care. Just keep them coming.
Holy shit, man! $30 for the full color hardcover book like this, and it's a sizable book.
Yeah.
is nuts. Like I would buy all of these totally.
Absolutely.
I would be very excited to buy several of these a year.
Right.
Absolutely.
What else could spend money on?
Excited to buy is Patreon. Patreon.com/Retro Warriors. We have a Patreon. It's a song now.
It's not a song.
You go there. We have Talking Wizards, uncut versions of this show. You get early access, and you get a secret Discord channel. Let me see, what do we talk about in it? Most recently is a person posting a picture of a dump taking robot called the Iron Dumper.
Yes.
So
also somebody talked about the Mayan comic strip where a rabbit says, "Smell your sweat, wizard penis."
Right, the first Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
Is what it was.
Yes.
Wizard penis is the best insult ever.
It is.
I don't
It's
even
up
know what
there.
it means. Does it mean it's gnarled or like what is it? I imagine wizard penises are like gnarled and kinked up. We need to do patron names. These people give us money. We want to thank the following people, starting with Clem Fandango.
That's a good one. Nicholas Grind.
Nick Brown.
Travis Graff.
The machine keeps eating this one, so if you can identify who you are, I don't know what special characters you're putting in, but Patreon doesn't like them, and it eats them when it feeds it to us. But it's Pawea Zalieski, something like that. It ate so much of it.
Maybe?
It ate so much of it.
Yeah, it's a shame. But thank you anyway.
Yeah, still thank you.
And then also Tamachan 87.
Rick J.
Robert Vieira Jr.
Sam Obam.
And Sean Schaller.
All gave us money.
Yay.
They all gave us money, and they can view the Iron Dumper whenever they want.
And we turned their money into game guides.
Yep, and they can call each other wizard penises in the Secret Talking Wizards channel.
Granted, they can call each other that outside of there too, but
no,
one
don't
will
tell them
listen
that.
to you.
Now they know.
Oh,
no,
right,
you
my
can't. You can't do that anywhere else. Don't listen to this man.
Don't listen to this wizard penis.
Yeah, don't listen to that wizard penis. He has no idea what he's talking about. Anyway, yeah, that's the show. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And as always, let us cling together.